Hi there, this is John here. More ramblings from my focusing room, and this time it's about healing those hurting feelings. And it's not just hurting feelings; it's healing um, negative patterns of from the past, perhaps patterns of strong emotions, feelings, thoughts, behaviours that we just can't get rid of. It can also it also going to cover things like nasty sort of programming from religious cults that we might have had and are now causing us emotional disturbance. And I'm going to do a couple of things in this video. The first thing I'm going to do is to talk about how we commonly react to things and whether they work. And then I'm going to talk about another approach that some clients in therapy already knew how to do it. And to do this, I've got two little toys just to try and illustrate it. He is Fred the soldier, and this is a beautiful teddy bear. And I'm going to call him Sam. So Fred and Sam are going to be helping me to illustrate it. Now, if you imagine that this, for example, is me, hello, and this is the problem, hello, what do we actually do? Well, sometimes, for example, Fred might turn his back on the problem and distract himself. Oh, hello. I've got some tea to make. I've got a house to clean. I've got to do this. But this guy doesn't actually go away when you distract yourself. He just stays there. Now, the other thing we have a tendency to do is to try and beat up the problem. Go away, go away, go away. I don't want you. And basically he overrides this issue. But what happens when you override it is that the issue begins to creep up again, and you push it down and he creeps up again and you push it down and then he comes up again. And quite often what happens is he then goes, I'm going to grab you like this. Okay. So the issue becomes overwhelming when we do that. Now, the other thing that we commonly do is maybe we think differently. So this issue is saying, if it's Watchtower indoctrination, you should be going out door to door knocking. You should be feeling guilty about this. And so he goes, no, I shouldn't. I am free now. I don't want to think like this anymore. And what they have is an intellectual argument or tussle. Now, some therapists talk about reframing things and thinking differently about something. Sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. So what's the focusing alternative? And focusing is just a word, okay, it's just a word that is used for how successful clients use therapy. And this is how it works. This is me, and then this is the issue. And the first thing with focusing is that I just might ground myself in my feet, just notice the floor beneath my feet, particularly if this issue feels unsafe. And then I might say, okay, so I'm noticing this, I'm noticing you, I'm noticing you, and I'm going to say hello to you. And he might also go, where can he feel this issue in his body? And he might go, oh, I can feel it just in my stomach, say. So you just notice where you can feel it in your body. And the next thing is to go, just to acknowledge it. Hello. Hello, desire to feel guilty about door knocking, not doing the door knocking. I'm just going to say hello to you. I'm just going to sense where you are in the body, where I can feel you. And I'm just going to imagine myself keeping you company. Now this issue here that's been used to being bashed, or it's been used to being ignored, then will react differently because you're paying your full attention, you're noticing it, and you're being in relationship with it. You're not being overwhelmed by it, and you're not arguing with it. And then the next thing you go is, okay, so can I just sense the energy in you? Can I just sense what's happening in this part of me? And this part goes, gosh, I'm having this real attention being paid. I'm not used to this. And it might go, well, I'm feeling a bit sad because I'm not going on the door-to-door knocking like I feel I'm supposed to. And this one has gentle, non-judgmental curiosity and goes, oh, okay. So there's a part of me now that's just feeling a bit sad. Let me just acknowledge it and keep it company. I don't have to agree with it. I'm wondering, so this way, if sadness is right, or is there more? And this one goes, oh, well, yeah. I sort of miss, I don't like to admit it, but I miss the company. I used to really enjoy going out with Esther on those door knocking things. And this one going, okay. So I'm hearing you, I don't have to agree. But I'm just going to acknowledge that you feel a bit sad not doing it. Is there anything more to it? And this one goes, well, yeah. I actually feel quite lonely. And this one goes, oh, okay. Just acknowledging there's a part of you that really feels like. And this one maybe even changes and says, oh, I need a hug right now. And you could imaginatively, if it feels right, sense whether it feels right. Yeah, okay, I'm going to give this part of me a little hug. I'm keeping him company. I'm going to give him a hug. And the feelings, believe it or not, will begin to change. The thoughts begin to change. The behaviour impulses will begin to change by themselves and of their own accord. Now, there is lots of books on this that go into far more detail, but I'm just going to go through the principles again. The first thing, if this is me and this is the issue, is not to override the issue like this, or rather like this, not to override it, not to push it down, but to stay in relationship with it. Secondly, notice, if you can, where you can feel it in your body. If you can't feel it in your body, as long as you know it's there, then that's okay. The third thing is just say hello to it and acknowledge it. Yes, I know you're there. Fourth thing is let it speak. You don't have to agree with it, but listen to it and acknowledge that you've heard it. The fifth thing is just maybe sense the energy. I'm wondering what the energy is in it. And the sixth thing is I'm just wondering if there's anything new it wants to tell me. And then lastly, when you're ready to come back, just say thank you to your body for what it's shown. Now, one of the best books on this is by Anne Weiser Cornell, and it's called The Power of Focusing. I'm just going to briefly go away from this to find the book, because I should have put it beside me. Hold on a second. Okay. So one of the best books, the self-help books, is called The Power of Focusing by Anne, A Practical Guide to Emotional Self-Healing, and it's by Anne Weiser Cornell. And this, I've done a master's degree in focusing, and I have to say that this is probably the best book that I've ever read on it and the most helpful. The other thing as well, if you're interested in this, is to Google the Focusing Institute website, where there is a list of focusing teachers worldwide. You can also Google my own website, which is www.newfocustherapy.co.uk. Alright, this has been a very brief introduction. Be careful with it, make sure you're safe. If you start to do this and it feels at all unsafe, then you stop immediately. And if you do return to it, remember, ground yourself in the feet, notice the floor beneath your feet so that it's a safe place from which you can be in relationship with the issue, with the indoctrination, with the past, whatever it is. And take care. Take care. Thanks for looking. Thanks for listening.